Hi, there is a lot of confusion around Type A, Type B and Type C standards, and that's understandable. Even manufacturer and consultants often mix them up. If you pick a wrong standard or you miss any entirely, your BIS application can get rejected, no matter how good is your product. So let's break it down. Hi, again, I'm Anshul Mittal, legal and regulatory consultant, working with companies in India and abroad to comply with BIS and environmental regulations also. So in this series, we are breaking down the Omnibus Technical Regulation scheme, the regulation and Scheme 10 and BIS certification in detail. So today, let's look at how Type A, Type B and Type C standard work under the OTR. OTR is Omnibus Technical Regulations. So first of all, what is a Type A standard? Let's start with Type A. So the basic foundation is Type A standards. Type A is a general safety standard. It sets out the principles for risk assessment, which identify all possible hazards during the machine's life cycle. Then the other principle is safe machine design. Safe machine design, which can eliminate risk through inherent safety in the machine structure and layout. So the third principle can be risk reduction hierarchy. So it applies control in an order. Like you need to put machine design measures first. So the design of the machine should be first measure that is taken. Then the guards, then the printed warnings, and last principle can be the documentation, which would record the identified risks, controls applied, and justification in structured format. Think of it like a safety rule book that applies to every machine, regardless of its types. So under BIS, the main Type A standard is IS 16819, which is of 2018, which was adopted in 2018, and now it is reformed in 2023, and which provides the structure for risk assessment and design safety. For example, if you are making a machine, CNC machine or a compressor or packaging line, you'll need to do a risk assessment as per 16819 Indian standard. This is mandatory as per the Omnibus Technical Regulations and shall follow Scheme 10. So what is now secondly, there is Type B standard. Now what is it? Type B standards are not linked to any one product. They deal with safety function and safety components. So these cover things like emergency stops, guards, interlocks, two-hand controls, electrical systems, safety sensors, light curtains, and many more. So they can be divided into two subtypes. Type B can be divided into two subtypes. Type B1, which covers general safety principles like spacing, temperature, distance, etc. And Type B2 applies to specific devices or components. For example, if your machine uses a safety interlock, it must comply with the relevant Type 2 standard, Type B2 standard. Okay. So even if you are not manufacturing those parts, you are responsible for choosing components that meet BIS standards. So now there is the third type, which is Type C. What is Type C standard? So Type C standard are product specific. They take relevant safety principles from Type A and Type B and apply them to specific type of machine. For example, if you are making loader cranes, there's an Indian standard or ISO for that matter 15442 of 2012, which covers functional safety, emergency stop, response time, guard design, performance testing, etc. So if there is a Type C standard for your product, then that becomes your main compliance reference. Even overriding A and B where needed. So it will override type A, type B standard wherever type C is there and it is differently worded. But if no type C standard exists, yet you have to follow type A, always mandatory, and all relevant type B standards that apply to your machine's features. So even when a type C standard applies, the manufacturer must still refer to relevant provisions of type A and type B standards for any safety aspect that is not covered in the type C standard. So to put it simple, type A applies to all machines. Type B applies based on safety features used in that machine, in those machines, and type C specific to machine type. If your product has a type C standard, follow it. If not, start with Indian standard 16819, which is type A standard, and then add all applicable type B standard for things like guards, interlocks, voltage and control system, etc. So this structure is similar to the European CE model. European CE standard, they follow this, and the OTR follows this same approach under Indian law. However, as of now, it has limited standards that will implement, and later the government may introduce more such standards as are followed by European CE model. So we need to be ready for it as well. So some of the common mistakes, what happens is in choosing these types. So a lot of people ignore type B standard because they think my machine type isn't listed here. That's the mistake. Type B isn't about machine type. It's about safety feature. So if your machine has a motor or a guard, a control panel or a safety switch or interlock, then yes, type B standard do apply, and you need to reflect that in your technical file as well. So to summarize, always start with type A, as I already told. Check if there's a type C standard for your machine. If not, apply relevant type B standards and document everything clearly in your technical file, especially the risk assessment. So a BIS certification is not just paperwork. It's about proving that your machine is safe by design. In the next video, we will show you how to prepare a BIS ready technical file under scheme 10 step by step. I will try to cover step by step with checklist, examples, practical guidance. So don't forget to follow the series, and if you need help with standard selection, any documentation or risk mapping, feel free to reach out. Compliance is mandatory, but we can help make it clear and manageable. See you in the next video.